Hey guys, welcome back. So in today's Makeup Monday video, I'm going to be doing kind of a monthly favorites, not so favorites sort of video, but tutorial style. So the things that I like I've been really enjoying using a lot this month, put those on my face and also talk about some things that maybe haven't worked out so well for me. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. So the first product I want to talk about is one that really did not work out for me, unfortunately, and it is this. This is the Shea Moisture Peace Rose Oil Complex Sensitive Skin Facial Cleansing Oil. So basically what this is designed to do is to take your makeup off, cleanse your face. It's a mix of oils and emulsifiers. So you'll put the oil on dry skin, kind of rub it around, and then add some water, and it's supposed to turn into this kind of milky thing that you can just rinse. Milky thing? That sounds disgusting. But it kind of breaks the oil part down, so it makes it rinseable. You can rinse it off of your face. And I've been looking for a cleansing oil because I like that idea of using the oil to kind of take the makeup off and then doing a second cleanse with my regular cleanser to just kind of get any remnants. And unfortunately, this is not the oil for me. I don't know if you can see, where am I? They're thankfully not as intense anymore. But this broke me out, all my cheek, all over my chin, my neck. Thankfully, that's calming down now because I haven't been using it. But it broke me out. Like, I never get breakouts on my cheeks. So I knew it was this. And since I stopped using it, my skin is cleared right up. So yeah, it's a fail in that way. And I also didn't like how it didn't really emulsify very well. I just realized that my hair looks crazy. It didn't rinse away very well. It left a very definite film, that did wash away with a second cleanse, but I just didn't like it. It did smell nice. It had a kind of rose scent, but not a perfumey rose scent, you know what I mean? It was quite pleasant. But yeah, this just, it did not work out at all, which is a shame because, I mean, this is a great company that uses a lot of, you know, ethical ingredients and it's cruelty-free. They do a lot of good, but this particular product was a fail for me. The next product is a relatively new one in my life that I've been playing around with this month, and that is the e.l.f. Hydrating Face Primer. The packaging, super cute. I love e.l.f.'s packaging that they've been coming out with lately. And it's just a kind of silicone-y, smoothie primer. It's maybe not the best for me on my nose and my forehead, although I'm using it because that's all I have at the moment. Because it is, you know, it does not do any sort of oil control or anything like that, so oil breaks through pretty quickly. But I don't really have to wear makeup for too long today, so I'm not worried about it. But I do like it so far. I don't notice that it necessarily makes my makeup last a lot longer, but it feels really nice. It really does smooth out the skin. The one thing I will say is it does take a little bit to set, which works out fine for me since I tend to do, you know, my skin makeup, my base makeup after my eyes and stuff. But just be warned, if you're in a rush, it takes a minute to set before you can put your foundation on. I don't have any new brow products that I've been particularly loving this month. Anastasia Brow Whiz, every day is my jam. So I'm just gonna throw my brows on real quick and I'll be right back. I don't think I'm ever gonna get my brows perfectly even, so there they are. I do have kind of a new product that maybe I can update y'all on next month. But this is just the e.l.f. Clear eyebrow eyelash gel. I honestly don't know if there is a difference in the formula between these two sides. This side is the eyelash, this side is the eyebrow. I've only used this 1 or 2 times. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I don't know if it did anything for me. But let's toss this on. This is just supposed to give a little more texture and hold the brows in place. My next favorites for this month is, unfortunately, a product that you can't actually purchase anymore, but in the interest of honesty, it is one that I've been using a lot this month, and it is my Vice 4 palette from Urban Decay. So I'm going to use some shades in this palette to just kind of put together an eye look that's kind of been my go-to, and it's a method that can be used with any colors you wanted to. So basically this look is going to be 3 colors, kind of light to dark, that kind of fan out and do a little bit of almost a wing shape, but just with eyeshadow. I'm probably not even going to use any eyeliner. Now, what colors shall we use? All right, so I'm just going to do what I have been doing a lot this month and kind of doing a pink blue thing. So I'm going to be using the shades Fastball, which is kind of a peachy color that has a little bit of a pink shift to it. 1985, which is a more vibrant fuchsia, and then Beat Down, which is a kind of indigo blue. So I'm going to take Fastball, which is that peachy, pinky color. This is a Real Techniques shader brush, or shading brush. And this is just going to go on the inner third or so of my eye. Now, if you wanted to make the color pop even more, you could put a like a flesh tone base, like the Milani Almond Cream Shadow Eyes pencil is what I would use if I wasn't so lazy, wanted to go get it, which I don't want to do. And then I'm going to take Beat Down, which is that purpley blue color, and I'm going to place that almost like I'm drawing a wing. On just the outer corner. Because my eyes get a little hooded over there, I like to bring it up above the crease a little as well. Now this is something you may have to adjust for your eye shape, or it might be a placement that really doesn't work on your eyes. Like for me, the halo placement is a little tricky because I don't have that much lid space. That's when there's it's also called a spotlight placement, where there's a bright color on the center, top and bottom, and then kind of the same darker colors out to the side. I'll probably do a tutorial with it at some point. It is kind of fun, but it's not maybe the most flattering for my particular eye shape. So, you'll have to kind of play around and see how well this might work. It can be a pretty quick look though. And now I'm going to go into 1985 and just kind of put that on the center, in between those two colors. I'm going to take an e.l.f. crease brush and just so softly blend, the darker color in. Now I found that Beat Down color to be very easily blended away. So I've preferred, I haven't had to, but I preferred to go in and just add a little more. So at this point, you just kind of layer and blend until you're satisfied. Speaking of satisfied and Hamilton, anybody got the Hamilton mixtape? I pre-ordered it, so I'm getting the songs as they come out. I don't know how I feel about it. I think I like the interpretations better. Like, immigrants and wrote my way out rather than just covers. The covers are nice, but I almost feel like I just as soon listen to the cast recording, you know what I mean? I don't know. Although the Ashanti Ja Rule Helpless cover just came out, and that was fun because Lynn has talked about how that pair, that duo, was the inspiration for that song in the first place. So that was kind of cool. All right. So I'm just going to kind of strengthen up that hot pink, that 1985 color in the center. And then why not that fastball? Just use that to blend into 1985 a little bit. All right, now totally optional step is to take a small angled brush. This is a Real Techniques eyeliner brush. Go into a darker shade and just do this subtlest sort of not even eyeliner all the way around. So I'm going to go into Deadbeat, which is a dark charcoal with a lot of glitter in it. But it works fine anyway. And I'm just going to kind of press that into the outer edge. And maybe the center. Yeah, probably bring it into the center of my lid. Just for a little extra definition. Now, if you wanted to, you could also take some of that darker color and actually draw a little wing. And blend. See how that adds just a little bit more depth? So it's an option you could do or not. So I think it looks fine either way. Back to the monthly favorites and the not so favorites. It's more of a meh rather than a love it or hate it. But it is the Ulta Demi Matte Foundation. I have this in the shade Classic Ivory. It's a pretty good shade match. It's a little pale, which I actually prefer. I would rather have it be a little pale and kind of warm up the skin with some bronzer rather than have it be orange or too dark. I feel like that looks more awkward, but that's just personal preference. What makes this is meh. What makes this meh is it looks great when you first put it on, but it doesn't last at all, at least on me. This is gone from my nose in like an hour after wearing it. You know, even with a primer, it doesn't really last that much longer. Maybe just because I don't have any primers at the moment that really help with longevity. Why does that sound like not the right word? But it totally is. Longevity. So this is I'm gonna use my old standby NYX BB Cream. Maybe I'll mix the two just for the sake of argument. Not on the back of that hand though. I have been into kind of a more sheer coverage. I will say the packaging on this is really nice. I like the pump a lot. And like I said, the coverage is nice. It looks nice when you first put it on. When I first put it on, I should say. But I find that it just fades so quickly. And I'm just gonna blend that in with the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. Next, going in with concealer. This is the last bits of my Wet n Wild Illumi-naughty highlighting and concealing pen in, oops, this is in Ivory and TU. I didn't mean to grab the shade, but we're gonna make it work because I don't feel like getting up. And now I have lots of spots to cover. I don't know if you can actually see. I'm always really annoyed by that when I watch makeup videos and somebody's like, oh my god, my skin's so bad, but because of the lighting and blurring lenses and all that stuff, their skin looks like angelic perfection. It's like, don't mention it. We can't see it anyway. Just don't mention it. Okay, for powder, I have a couple things to talk about. The first one just wasn't what I expected, and that is the Wet n Wild ColorIcon. For some reason, they call this a bronzer. I don't know if you can read that because of the writing, but it says bronzer, SPF 15, in case you were wondering, and it's in the shade Reserve Your Cabana. I know a lot of people use this as a finishing powder, and that's what I got it for. But, you know, if you're a pale one like I am, I've heard really good things about this as a finishing powder. And it is a nice finishing powder, but it's not shimmery, but it's not mattifying. It leaves a sheen. So if you really like kind of an all over glowy look, then this would be a really nice finishing powder for you. That's not really my cup of tea, at least on myself. It looks great on other people, but it doesn't look great on me, I think. So this is not a great finishing powder for me. So just a heads up, if you like the all over glowy look, you have a fair skin tone, this could work for you. However, if you like something a little more on the mattifying side, a powder that has come back into my life is the e.l.f. I believe this is the HD finishing powder, I think they call it. It's a messy. It looks white, but it ends up being, you know, colorless on the skin. And it's very fine and beautiful and super inexpensive, and it's definitely one of my favorite products from e.l.f. And yeah, so I'm going to just set my whole face with that. Let's talk mascara. Almost just completely forgot it. I've been using this Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. And again, it's one of those products where I'm not sure. It's not the most amazing mascara I've ever used, but it's also not terrible. It kind of goes in that meh category for me. I really like all of this detail on the top, which is cute. It's also rubbery, so it makes it really easy to hold on to, which is nice. And I really like the brush. It's not gigantic. I don't like huge mascara wands, mascara brushes rather. So I like this a lot, but the formula can be a little bit clumpy, similar to the Better Than Sex mascara actually from Too Faced. And it has a similar effect actually. It's not quite as, I found the Too Faced would help kind of curl my lashes a little bit. This doesn't really, but well, you'll see in a second how it looks. There's the difference. It's nice, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, this is my holy grail. Although I will also say I find this lasts pretty well on my lashes, and it doesn't, even though it can be a little clumpy, a little flaky on application, I don't tend to find kind of fallout from it. It doesn't tend to flake off during the day. The next product is unfortunately another limited edition product. But it has been kind of my go-to bronzer and blush, and often highlight also, if I did that this month. And it is the Wet n Wild ColorIcon limited edition. What's it called? Blush and Glow Trio. This is in the shade Sunset Junction. This was, I think, spring or summer of last year. And the quality of all three of these is just freaking phenomenal. The powders are they almost feel like a cream. They're so soft. So I'm taking Real Techniques blush brush, dipping into that bronzer, tapping off. And I really like this brush. This even though it's supposed to be a blush brush, I really like it for bronzer. Because it's big and fluffy and it disperses product really well. So bronzer I usually take along the tops of the cheeks, along the hairline, under the chin, and then whatever's left on the brush, kind of go over the bridge of my nose and my chin. Just so, you know, it looks a little sun-kissed, if you will. The big winner in this palette, by the way, the thing that I've been using the most and why it's in this video is the blush. It's just a really pretty, kind of neutral, rosy pink, that just is it's a great everyday blush for me. So even days when I have like not this much makeup on, if I just put brows, mascara, a little concealer on, I'll throw that onto my cheeks just to, even without foundation, just to give a little life back. This is the e.l.f. blush brush. And then this highlight is out of this world. It's that really pretty kind of almost opalescent, well, I mean, you're about to see, but it's a really pretty opalescent kind of wet looking highlighter. Like, it actually looks like a glow rather than a stripe of glitter or shimmer. It doesn't have any glitter in it. It's just, it's too much. If there is such a thing. I think there is. So I just like to use that on the top of my cheekbones. See that? Ooh. So pretty. All right, so last thing is lips, and this is actually something I don't know how I feel about yet. My tendency is to not like it, actually. I'm leaning towards not digging it so much, unfortunately. But I'll throw it on anyway, and you can see how you feel about it. But this is an e.l.f. lipstick. It's from their Beautifully Bare line, which has a foundation, a finishing powder. It has a couple cream, blush, lip colors, and it has a few different lipsticks. This is in a touch of berry, sorry, there's no A in there. And I got this because I wanted something in my purse that was really moisturizing, like a lip balm, but had a little color that I could throw on. Again, days maybe I'm not wearing that much makeup, you know, going to the grocery store after my class or just for my yoga class or something, just need a little life to my face. And so I got this shade, and I'm going to put it on in a second. So it's a nice sheer tint. It is really moisturizing. And the packaging is really, really nice. It was $5, so, you know, it's not a huge loss, and I think my mom might like it. But I find it's a really pretty color, but there's something about it that just shrinks my lips down, just the appearance of them. And they're not that full to begin with, so, you know, I don't really appreciate that. But it's a really easy color. It's a really easy formula. So I don't think that the product itself is a dud. I just feel like it's just shriveled my lips up. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this little rundown of some of my favorite products from this past month, some things that didn't work out for me, and some stuff that's just kind of eh. Yeah, so I hope that you enjoyed. If you have any questions, comments, any of your own experience with any of these products, please let me know. And I will see you in the next one.